Hello and welcome to the first episode of our new show called NitPick.
Hi.
I am Silas, and
Ken.
this is my fellow co-host Ken.
Kenneth.
It's not
Ken.
like I. We are reviewing Thor: The Dark World today. It's oh man. All right, and here is the movie description. Faced with an enemy that even Odin and Asgard cannot withstand, Thor must embark upon his most perilous and personal journey yet, one that will reunite him with Jane Foster and force him to sacrifice everything to save us all. That description given to us by IMDb, so thank you good folks over at there, wherever you may be.
Surprisingly vague.
I know. All right, and just to clarify, we are going to use separate rating systems. Ken here, how are you going to do your...
I'll do a 10 out of 10 percentage system, probably.
All right. And I prefer using a more simplified 3-point system. I give it a recommend, in-flight, and rejection. In-flight means an all right movie. See it if you have the free time on your hands, if you've got nothing better to do but to kill time. Rejection means avoid the movie completely, and I think recommend speaks for itself.
I don't understand.
Shut up. And so, without further ado, we will use our 10-minute window gate to discuss the movie and our impressions of it, post and pre. And so, without further ado, we'll get started now. Now,
spoiler alert.
I'm going to start off with my interpretation when I first came into this, what I presumed it was going to be.
Your preconceived
notions.
notions.
My preconceived notions. I was planning to say, hey, this movie is going to be bland. It's not going to take any risks. It's not going to be as bad as Iron Man 3 was, but oh man. Okay, it's nice to know you have the same opinion.
I don't have the same opinion.
You
I
don't?
said, oh God, because now we have to do a second episode where I tell you
no.
how great Iron Man 3 is.
No, it
the
was
best
the worst.
Marvel movie
Okay,
yet.
we're off topic. But essentially,
Surprise.
The ultimate thing that I thought was that it was going to be plain, it was going to be generic, and that I would give it an in-flight. I would feel like it would take no chances whatsoever, and that it would ultimately bore me to death. What are yours?
I actually preconceived it as going to be a lot better than Thor 1, because I didn't really care for Thor 1.
You didn't,
right. But in the same vein of In-Flight, I thought it would be fun, but not amazing. I thought it would be good, but not artistic. I thought it would be, not bad.
Okay, fair enough. And so, as far as that goes, when it comes to the movie itself, let me just start off by saying this movie is very beautifully crafted in terms of world and visuals.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. It was a lot better than Avatar. I'm going to go into a whole new section. That's for another day. And
It's not even.
so, and not only that, but I like the fact that Asgard was a much more three-dimensional world, as opposed to the first one, which didn't really give Asgard much of a presence. It just felt like a palace with a handful of characters.
I like that, but I still think the other realms were lacking.
Absolutely.
The Dark World was so boring.
Was the ultimate. It's like it was like sort of like Geonosia from episode 2.
Well, it was the same world as the Ice Elves.
Exactly.
Just with a different greener filter over the visuals.
Except this one was more of a dark
It
red.
didn't look
with
black.
a red theme.
It didn't look black, it
looked like it looked like what's that world called from?
It didn't look bad.
It didn't look bad, but it was just bland. Yeah. It wasn't very creative. And the ships that looked like just giant Teen Titan towers.
That was weird.
Those were really weird.
It was kind of Star Wars.
Yeah. But overall, I'd say that it was decent visuals.
It was well made, even when it was just a big giant Teen Tower Titan.
I will say, though, that some of the visuals were very off-kilter to me. Like, there were some parts where I felt it was very strong, very great CGI, and then some I'm just like, holy shit, that's the fakest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I saw some green screen issues, but
but that's I'm getting off topic here. But once
it's all
again,
a topic.
It's all off topic. It really is. But The ultimate thing that I want to come down onto was that, like, the floating fire truck or whatever, the floating truck was, like, the fakest thing I'd ever seen in that movie. Like,
It was weird.
It was
I
like
agree,
Tim
actually.
Burton's Alice in Wonderland fake. I was just like,
That movie
granted,
was so fake,
That
I
movie
didn't
was
even
beautiful,
see
though.
it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel like when it comes to CGI. There's good. If you have a mix of good and bad CGI, the bad CGI stands out more.
No,
if
yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
a balanced CGI, then you can start getting invested into it. Now, when it comes to actors, I feel like it was also very strongly acted. I felt like.
Everyone keeps saying that to me, and I
And you disagree?
I think.
Okay.
I think.
No. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I think Chris Hemsworth does everything that Thor's supposed to be.
Okay.
Honestly, no offense to Chris Hemsworth,
Well,
I
that's-
actually think he's a good actor,
that's
but in
why I
this
think-
movie, he's not good.
That's why I think the
But
casting director
he's-
behind this should get a raise, was because it's like, how can you imagine any other
He's supposed
Thor?
to be bad. He's supposed to talk bad. But I don't agree with anyone that thinks Loki is well acted. I just like
It's just Tom Hiddleston chewing the scenery.
Well, I like Tom Hiddleston.
I do too,
I
but
thought
he
Toad
is
Loki
really-
was really poorly written in this film. And
in this film especially,
all three
yes.
films. I don't get Loki
Well,
as a villain. That's my
I do-
thesis for this film. But
I do
that's
like-
not. We won't get too far.
I liked him in Avengers, but that was quite literally the only time when I felt like he was in his own realm, where his character was supposed to be in line with the story. Him being trying to be taken seriously as a villain, that is where the movie starts to dip. However, I am going to say this. Now we're on that topic, but Anthony Hopkins seemed very distant in this movie. It's like he didn't give a shit about being Odin. I
Yeah,
felt.
I think. I mean,
That was the only
he didn't do
complaint that I
bad.
had.
He's
in
still
terms of
Anthony
acting.
Hopkins, so he was there and he delivered his lines well. But he did seem just there because they needed that character to move the forward plot along, to whine to Thor about, oh my God,
Absolutely.
you need my kingdom, you
Absolutely.
should marry different people, whan whan, nanny nanny boo boo,
All
you're a
right.
disappointment, son.
Since we're over the halfway point, I think I'll go to my most prominent issue. I cannot recommend this movie. Ultimately, because of the fact that I feel like it is littered with cliches and plot holes that ultimately detract from the actors, the scenery.
Well, it's based on Marvel Comics, so it's written on plot holes. but-
Oh, we just got into a whole fandom argument here. Ken's more of a DC guy. I'm just sort of superheroes in general.
I am. I mean, I love Marvel Studios. They make fun popcorn movies.
Oh yeah.
The source material.
But like-
isn't something I respect. Very
Like, the one thing that I want to bring out about this was the fact that Loki almost dies twice.
Oh my god. Okay,
That was the most bullshit thing ever.
Like when he dies, I was like,
Good.
no. I knew that they were going to kill him, or at least they were going to like.
No, I thought that was
quote-unquote kill
ballsy.
him.
I thought that was really ballsy when they.
I
when
was
they-
prepared,
Yeah.
but then when it happened, but I mean, while I was prepared, I was like, but then it's not really going to be a thing. It's going to be lame. They're going to back out.
Yeah.
But then when it actually happened, I got confident that maybe they would actually let Loki stay
Yeah.
dead and do something really brave.
Yeah,
and
that would have been
interesting.
ballsy.
But then that lasted a second, and then I was like, wait,
And
this is Marvel. This
but
is
no,
the
it
one
doesn't-
character that everybody likes. This is not going to be fun.
The way they bring him back is just so stupid too. I don't know how they did it. Like, the reason why I like when they brought back Barbossa in Pirates 2 was because it was already established in that universe that they could be resurrected back from life.
I mean, like, I
there
would've
was
been
a way to
fine.
cheat death.
I mean-
However, in this one, it says, yeah, he has the power of illusion, but it's only sight-based. You see Thor holding Loki
Yeah,
and saying
no,
it's going
yeah.
to be okay, but no,
then-
he comes back in the
And
end. it's
furthermore,
just like, why?
Loki gets to come back alive, but poor Allmother is dead as a doornail.
Wait, what's her name? Mara?
I don't remember
No,
her name.
like-
the Allmother,
No.
Thor and Loki's mommy.
That brings it back another point. Like, I felt like there was a very sexist, misogynistic overtone to this. And
I thought I wanted to think that, but I actually am okay with
well,
it.
like, there's like the whole fact where, like, when the
There's-
Dark Elves begin to invade Asgard, they're just like, oh yeah, we're going to do something badass. Come with me. We're going to watch out for ourselves. Next scene, boom, dead.
Well,
And it's just like, why can't you do anything for yourself?
I've seen some reviewers call that fridging, which is a reference to a comic book thing where they just
Okay.
kill off women
Yeah.
for the betterment of a male plot point.
Okay.
And I actually think
That
that
makes
wasn't
sense.
what happened. I think that for like the only character in the whole thing, she killed herself in a heroic way, in that she died.
Didn't seem very.
She died for a cause, not for men, but to save the entire planet and to save the 9 realms and to actually do something.
Like she could.
She died to save everyone, not to make men
She could have created those
whine.
illusions. She could have done something.
No,
to survive.
I know
I'm certain she could have
lived. Her death was good, but her staying dead was stupid, and that I think was a little dumb. The men get to, and that's part of fridging, is that all the superheroes that die get to come right back, but any female superhero
and that was
becomes Oracle in her wheelchair,
and that was
or
another
becomes
bullshit
somebody that isn't alive anymore.
That was more with Loki, though. That was my issue with Loki. He gets so angry at his mom dying, and then it's just like, yeah, I'm going to take my revenge for the death that I essentially caused, because I'm like, hey, go this way to the big guy.
That's where my mom is. You can probably kill her, but then I'll be mad.
Kill her, and then I'll be angry at you for killing her.
Man pain.
It was just
too much man pain.
It was. It really was. And there's also like the plot hole between like they have to do this because it's Marvel. They have to connect like the magic and the sci-fi. It's one of the ultimate writer things that you should not do, but they have to do it.
I think they did okay with it.
I don't know. I don't buy the whole interdimensional thing. I feel like the warp holes are sort of like.
I mean,
the wormholes
they didn't have to explain it very much.
It's too much of a way to connect the plot.
Compared to the post-credit scene.
Oh, and before I also want to say that Natalie Portman is a horrible MacGuffin. I just want to say that right now.
I guess we're...
All right. Okay, that's the timer, apparently.
We're out of time.
I didn't...
I want to say one sentence about the
Do you want to extend
scene.
it, though? Do you want to extend it to 12? This is our first episode. We can do this.
Benicio del Toro being the worst at acting I've ever seen him in the history of the world.
Wait, Benicio was in this?
I'm no longer in the mid-credit scene, in the Guardians of the Galaxy
that was such bullshit.
Pitch. I am no longer excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. Not that I was that excited, but...
Like not only that, but bad. I'm unfamiliar with Guardians of the Galaxy, but there's like that there was like that cop out, that complete cop out that was just like, okay, we're going to hand the MacGuffin off to the shadiest people.
Why do they trust the collector?
The shadiest people in the world. I've never seen something more shady in the Marvel universe.
He's literally trafficking anthropomorphic aliens. Like human-looking pink women. He is a human trafficker, more or less. And the Asgardians are saying, you know what?
Let's have him.
Here's a device that has the potential to destroy all of the universe. Would you like it?
Here, just take it. We're not even going to ask you. Just here.
We already have one kept in our place, so we don't really want two. Do you want it? We'll sell it cheap.
Oh my god, I hated that so much. It's just like, here we'll just throw in another freaking climax. They shove climaxes just right in your fucking face for no reason other than to just say, hey, here's a plot twist. Like they don't think it through. It's sort of like the ending of Devil. It was just really, really stupid in that way. So I think we've said all that we need to say about this.
My rating is surprisingly an 8.5 out of 10.
Holy shit.
Because it was fun. It was fun to sit in the theater and look at pretty pictures and stuff. It was fun.
Wow, okay.
It wasn't good, but it was fun.
Impressive.
8.5 worth of fun.
Wow, okay then. I, on the other hand, am going to have to give it a rejection. Ultimately, I feel like the plot holes were way too distracting and they've shoved too many of them in at once. I feel like the CGI was a mixed basket, and ultimately a lot of actors seemed distant. The characters had... Speaking of which, the climaxes really dropped the character arcs in a lot of senses. And maybe I just have a fondness for story, but I cannot forgive something with so many cliches and plot holes, MacGuffins, and so many ways of simply passing them off.
I can understand that.
So I'm going to give it a rejection.
Cool.
All right, so that marks the end of our show. Next time on NitPick, we are going to give you not a new one, but an old movie. It's not going to be a new release in theaters, since there's nothing new coming out that we consider will be a big blockbuster. So I believe that Ken will be the one to decide what's to review next week.
That's a big responsibility.
I know it is, but We'll see you next time on NitPick, the show where we beat down the movies you love. Unless it's Ken, in which case he
show where
promotes the movies you love.
You'll never guess what we do on the show NitPick. We nitpick.
We nitpick.